Today we are joined by the one and only DJ Woody, an international DJ, producer and presenter who's built a serious name for himself on the scene. He's travelled across the world, played the sets from West End and beyond, and worked alongside some truly legendary promoters on the circuit. You might also know him from Capital XTRA and Choice FM, where he's made his mark as both a presenter and a DJ. Respected for his music taste, his energy, and the way he reads a crowd. So wherever you're listening from, settle in, because he's the one to bring the vibes. DJ Woody.
Woo! Oh, wow. There's a lot there.
Yeah, a lot there, boy.
There's a lot there. Where are we going to get started, Jules?
Let's start from the beginning. Like, what got you into the music industry? Who got you the first decks? Let's go way back.
Right, let's go right back. Right, so the area I was from was obviously Hackney.
Yeah.
So in Hackney, on the estate, I was always fascinated by a kid when I used to see the man then bring out the boxes.
Yeah.
You know, the sound systems, the setups, and obviously, you know, it was a very big cultural thing in the area.
Yeah.
And I used to get right into it, and then I used to watch a lot of the DJs back then. I used to listen to all kinds of different music back then because that's what it was like back in the day, you know. And later on, I started helping out these kind of guys, and which sort of got me involved in getting to know certain people. Now, when it come down to the deck situation, I'll tell you exactly how that happened. A friend of mine, Joel Stoker, he had a set of these sound labs, right? And it was one of them where he wanted to get into DJing, got it, didn't really use them. Right. And I kept going around to his house using them all the time. And in the end, we kind of done this little deal where it was like, you know, I ain't really got much, but I'll pay you off whatever for your decks. And that's how I got my first load of decks, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Love that.
But and then from there, I carried on going and going and going. Now, when it come down for me being into, say, the club scene. Now, back then, if anyone will know, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. You know, you would work real hard with promoters. And the way you had to work it was basically doing your mix on a tape. And I used to make my tapes all like proper, like, so it was like, because someone would just put like a TDK tape and they would just have their name on it. But I'll do like proper artwork. Nice. I remember tearing up pieces of paper, putting it all together, put your name on it, try and build it, like make your own kind of logo and everything. And then you did that situation where you handed it over to a promoter. Now, I knew at the time I didn't know, but now I know it was most of them promoters, they would like be in their car and they'll just chuck it in the back. Yeah. Now, what a lot of these promoters would do is like they get in their car, they'll reach over and it was a potluck thing or whatever they picked up, put in, if they felt it, you know, they give you a chance. So it was a case of like banging on the doors all the time, you know, until you basically, they wanted you, oh, you know what, just give him a set. Do you know what I mean? So once you got that opportunity of being on the decks, you know, you would tell your mates, get them all there, so it looked like you've brought a load of people, and obviously they're all going to back you up. But then the real thing about it was obviously competing with the other DJs. Yeah. So being a selector, being that DJ that you wanted to do, there was a lot of sabotaging, and a lot of DJ will tell you this, because there'll be the old school technique of you turning up and they'll take the needles. You know?
Oh, flipping hell.
Yeah, things like that. Wow. Yeah, there was a lot of that. But then I always made sure I had the needle. Yeah, we used to buy like Concords or whatever it was, so it was like, yeah, whatever. But the idea is that most of the time you'd step into clubs and then people would just be like, yeah, what you got, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And then at the end of the night, security were like picking up your box and going, you here next week, mate, you know? Yeah. So it built from there, sort of kind of thing. So then after that, I remember, because I was always into music, I was always trying to find them songs. I was always listening to all kinds of stuff. And I just sort of was building collections after collections of different things, you know. It wasn't a case that I was into one certain thing. I'd have everything, like in a side, and I'd listen to everything. Obviously, later on down the line of music, if you had hip-hop, R&B, you would have certain samples, but I'd have the originals. So what I used to tend to do was play the original and then play what you know. Do you get what I mean? Nice. So it would be like, this is what it was and this is what it is. You know, a lot of people didn't know. what it was. Do
Right,
you know what I mean? So you're
right.
kind of educating along the way. Now, what happened was one time I went in, this is really what happened. I was in a record shop one day and I asked specifically for a certain record. And I'll never forget the DJ who was working in a record shop sort of turned around and went, no, we ain't got that, mate. Like, whatever. So anyway, I got the records. I was sitting in the corner having, listening to the records. And then I see some bloke come in and he asked for the same record. And he went, yeah, here you go, mate. And he gave him the record.
Right.
So I was like, I went over to the bloke. I said, that's the one I asked for. He said, yeah, mate, you're a bedroom DJ, though.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
That's how it worked.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
That's how it works, right? So that got on my nerves a bit. So I thought to myself, you know what? I thought, I'm going to do something about this. Like, so what I kind of did was I ended up working in a record shop. And my idea in that record shop was to make sure we had the best promos, the best everything, yeah? And I never treated, and anyone will tell you from that record shop, I never treated anyone different, yeah? If you was a music lover and you wanted that record, there you go, mate, that's your record, you know? And obviously I was dealing with every major DJ there was, every major DJ, and they would ring me up going, oh, have you got that promo? I go, yeah, I've got it here. Look, I'll keep it here till such and such time, but if you're not here, it's gone. Because it's all about the sales at the end of the day, do you know what I mean? It wasn't about holding it back to let this man play it, that man play it. I mean, there was a lot of things that I was dealing with where, you know, I might have, say, 5 promos and I'll go, right, that one, you've got that exclusive, you've got that exclusive, yeah? Everybody's happy, and also as well I can push it at the same time. So it was all about pushing the music out there in all genres of music. And then obviously it kept going until where it is today.
Jeez.
That's amazing.
That person who said bedroom DJ to you lit a
Bedroom
fire.
DJ, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I'll tell you what's even funny about the story. Many, many years later, that guy walked into the shop. That guy walked into the shop, and I will never forget him. I'm not even going to say the name, but he come in the shop, and he was like, oh, yeah, this is good. Yeah. And he asked for a record. And I said to him, here you go, mate, this is your record here.
Oh, wow.
You know, but I never actually turned around to him and said, oh, do you remember me back in the day when you didn't give me a record? No, I just went, I got that record, here you go, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I could have done the same thing, but no.
Oh,
I was never into that. It was all about, go on. To me, it was like the last laugh.
Right.
Really.
Okay.
It was the last laugh.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? And we got on really well after that. That was the funniest thing about it.
So when did you start like working in nightclubs? Who gave you like the first gig? And
Oh, mate.
obviously you worked in quite a lot with them.
Mate. See, it was different because back in the day, you know, it was like, it started from like, say, Whereas's. There was all these kind of house parties. There was all kinds of. It was such a different thing back then. Before it turned into actual clubbing, it was such a big thing. You know, there was so much going on. I mean, when I actually got into the nightclubs, it was through like promoters, stuff like that. So we've gone from Whereas's parties and stuff like that, and then it kind of moved because the music genre sort of went different ways. So there was groups of us together, and then everybody separated into. They could have gone into drum and bass. They could have gone into hip hop R&B. They could have gone. So it kind of split everything up. So later on in my time, I would say what was my first? I would say, all right, if we're going to look at the first residency in the West End, I would say Peter Stringfellows was the first person who gave me a residency.
Oh,
which was
really?
at
Wow.
his members club at the time. And he was a part of Hippodrome as well. So I would do Stringfellows first, and then I'll go over the roads and do Hippodrome. From that end, I mean, that was a totally different era again, because there's so many different eras of like how the West End works. Right? So you had like, say, all the bougie clubs and everything. That kind of come later.
Yeah.
West End back in the day was very tourist, right? So if I went to Hippodrome, it was a lot of Italians. It was a lot. There wasn't like Londoners. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like that. And obviously, when he had Stringfellows, I would say that was a members club, yeah. And then there was only a small amount of clubs like that because back then if you went to the West End, I would say you went to places like Samantha's. You went to places like obviously Stringfellows. They were like what I would call the original bougie clubs, but they were party clubs. Everyone was in there just having a drink, having a dance, whatever. But then later on, obviously, if you're going to go into the next level, which then become what I'm saying, bougie clubs, which are like your China Whites, your Embassies, your Elysiums, what was it called, Pangea. I can't remember. What was the one underneath the Ritz? Forgotten what that was called. The club underneath the Ritz Hotel. What was that called in the corner? You had that one, and then you had the one over the road, But all these then become. Originally, they were members' clubs. You didn't really have no promoters or anything. It was all a case of, you had to dress up, you had to put a suit on, you had to put shirt on, you had to have shoes on, and they become them kind of places. And really and truly, it was the West End then become a 7-day-a-week project. Literally a 7-day-a-week. So. I don't know, later on in time, I would say Monday night would be your 10 rooms. Tuesday night would be your Funky Buddha. Wednesday night would be your China Whites. Thursday night would be either Pangea or that club I'm talking about. And then obviously I was resident Friday and Saturday at Embassy.
Capiche?
No. Madonna ended up funding.
Aura,
that's the club. Aura, yeah.
Right.
So basically, that was the routine. So you had this mass of people who would be there on a Monday, there on a Tuesday, there on a Wednesday. They were literally like, it was like this circle with a little add-on of whoever was going in. So everyone was kind of busy back in the day. Sundays was like, come Sundays, I ended up in Faces. So I do like Sunday sessions or whatever like that. But yeah, it was virtually like that every single day. For many, many years.
And were you DJing pretty much most
Yeah,
of the night?
I done Funky Buddha Tuesday, China Whites Wednesday, Thursday. I did it all. I was like, because what happened was I saw a door opening. So obviously you're on this circuit over here, and the way I saw it was, you got promoters, So you with the promoters with the big nights and everything. There wasn't really a residency. You had the odd one, but you probably need to know about 30 of them to keep you going every week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they're only going to book you so many times because they have to do all the rest of them do.
Yeah.
So all this travelling, going up north, it got to a stage where, your Saturday night you could be in Southampton, then you had to go to Milton Keynes, and then you had to come to London, all in one night because we could go out till like 6 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what I mean? So the way I looked at it was, you know what? I think if I stay in one place and do it like that, not only that, my vision, what I had was the music, and it was like I could change all this.
Yeah.
That's what I looked at. I could change all this with the music, so I could give them a bit of everything. Because if you was doing a certain gig here, it was that type of music. If you went there, it was that type of music. It was all specialist like promotions. Whereas here, I could like. It would say hip hop and R&B, going a little bit house, going a little bit garage, or whatever it was. But it was about creating a party, and that wasn't happening at the time. It wasn't happening. And then there was all these what I call what were they called, like party break things, where people did these mixes, and it was like an easy way out for a DJ with a mega mix. You had the AV8s and things like that, which most DJs will understand. And a lot of people used all them. They were in, or you could use a vocal from, I don't know, Rolling Stones on a Pharrell track or something like that, and they all kind of worked. You know what I mean? So I just saw it as what I was doing at the time. I was creating something, and there wasn't really no competition at the time. I didn't think there was competition at all, Right. And then later on, the promoters started coming through the door. A lot of clubs started giving up their doors, which I found a bit mad at the time because I was sitting there thinking, well, you're ramped. Why do you need a promoter? For promoters, they were having it off.
Yeah, they had the laugh off.
Yeah, because they could make £20 at the door. They'd have 600 people walking through the door doing nothing. You got to remember, we didn't have social media. We didn't have Facebooks. We didn't have that at the beginning stages. But everything was all mailing lists. Everyone was using mailing lists back in the day. But it already had its career. But I think a lot of the owners just couldn't bother no more. They just like, and one of the main things is like, where I was a resident for so long at Embassy, to me, I think the main thing that worked with that was the restaurant. Because you had the restaurant upstairs. So it was all that kind of eat and then have a shindig, and it worked. And you had you had really good people turning up to it. Plus, as well, the celebrityism. The celebrityism was the biggest thing in the West End. Yeah, because once you did all that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, now I'm thinking about it more. You know, in midweek, might have like say, Fresh and Funky or Hangover Grand. Which was like, you know, your real stuff. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, you'd have China Whites down the road, which was every Tom, Dick and Harry trying to get in. Do you know what I mean? I remember you had two main people at the door, which was June and Alberto.
Yeah.
And believe me, getting past them was hard.
Yeah.
I remember a stage where they would make people stand on the other side of the road and they would wait there all night. And if there was an opportunity to go, right, you can come in. Do you know what I mean? I saw many people queue out that door, get to that door, and they get pushed past, next one. But it was the place to be. It really was the place to be. That place was heaving.
Yeah, and do you think it was the celebs that made
Yeah,
that
I
difference?
mean, big time. Big time. Celebs, anyone who was in time was going Channel Whites on a Wednesday. But the same thing with Funky Bull on a Tuesday. Same thing on the weekends at Embassy. They were literally what, you know, they're coming. You know what I mean? But there was as I said before, like going back even more, I had a few mates who were drivers for record labels and stuff like that. So before all this madness now where people like charge stupid money for walkthroughs or whatever it wasn't about that back then. You know what I mean? It wasn't about the money. Right. You know, I'm never about that. I would say to club owners, like my mate would ring me up and he'd go, "Oh, where are you tonight? I'm at Funky Buddha." Yeah? He'd go, "Look, I've got Usher." And I go, "Yeah, bring him." Then I'll go to Jimmy and go, "Jim, get that area sorted, they're coming." And he'll go, "Yeah, sweet." And then even if the club wasn't that busy, as soon as that artist walked in, it was like everyone must have got on the phone because that door's just done.
Yeah.
They're leaving all the clubs. Like,
Yeah.
Ash's in there. I don't understand how they got it so quick.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you know, and as I said, all it was like make sure he has a good time, give him a load of drinks, you know, everything's all good. And we did that all the time with everybody. Do you know what I mean? I remember one of the main people they were wicked geezers actually. He used to look after Kings of Leon. Now, before anyone knew who Kings of Leon was, they were over here doing all their stuff, whatever, and he was looking after them. They were proper cool guys. And obviously later on down the line, they come out with what was it called? Something Fire.
Sex Fire. Yeah.
So next minute, the whole world knows them.
Right. Yeah.
These guys would come in the club, chill in the corner. You wouldn't even know who they were. You know what I mean? They were proper good geezers. You know what I mean? And it was all that upcoming people to where they are now, and then they always come. They always come back all the time. So
what was it like for listeners that are super interested in this sort of stuff? So like, what was it? Was it the popularity of the club? Was there a payment made to the artist or their team to make it happen? Was there like a model why some of these clubs always got the celeb artists?
No, I mean, I would say a lot of the time.
It's connections, wasn't it?
It was
really?
just connections. It was all of us making it work.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Later on in the time, you know, an email will go out and the clubs will go, "Oh, such and such is looking and they want this amount of money or whatever." Right? So then it was a big who's got the money. But then the other thing is that they get greedy and they'll try and sell it to free clubs. And then you think you got it exclusive.
You don't.
Really, you find out they're over here unless they've told you up front. No, I'm going back to where there was none of that. The connection, the 9 times out of 10, the people who was in that club was through like me making a phone call to my mate or my mate phoning me, "Where are you?" Yeah, because for his job was to drive people around. That was his job. Wherever they wanted to go. So if they turn and go, "Yo, man, I want to go and have a party," he'll go, "Yeah, Woods, help me out. What are we doing?" "I'm here. Bring him here." And he'll go, "Sweet." Brilliant. And that's it. And he used to just bring them in, and that was it. And then the club could get their publicity, and everybody was happy at the end of the day. It works 10 times better than what I think it does now. But I get it. I totally get it.
Amazing. And how do you like sort of make those? Because that's one of the things I love about hospitality is the relationships you make that become super lifelong relationships. Like, how are you making those type of relationships? Was it friends from like back in the day on the estate? Is it people you're meeting in the clubs and stuff like that?
I think happen? There's a lot of my mates and all that, you know, all done good. You know what I mean? And I think where we've like not hustle, I don't know the word. We just knew how to like get in and get involved and do you know what I mean? But and as I said, like, and don't get me wrong, along the way have I fell in the right holes every time? I don't know. I just seem to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
But when I get opportunities, I take them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's not a case of taking an opportunity. It's a case of getting on with that person. Once that person has that connection with you, they're like, you know, there's been times where, I don't know, like there was a guy called Jeff Strange, and he was like head CEO of Def Jam, and he was involved in Justin Bieber. He signed a lot of people. He was like the man, right? And he was from New York. And one day I got introduced to him. We was at where was I? Sanderson Hotel, yeah. And we was at that Long Bar. You know, is it Long Bar? Anyway, so I get introduced to him. I was like, yeah. I didn't even know who he was. Do you know what I mean? I was like, yeah. What's happening? Anyway, me and him, he was like this like Irish American. Yeah, and he was like, I don't know, just he was bubbling, and he was like, yeah, man. Anyway, so we're at this bar, and me and him were just having a good old drink and having a laugh, and then we ended up going up to the room, listening to music because he was showing me because he was A&R.
Yeah,
I was going, yeah, and then I'll go to here, listen to this one, here, listen to what we've got, and we just spinned off like that all night without even knowing.
Right.
What'd you do?
Yeah.
Well, that conversation didn't even happen.
Yeah.
You know, before you know it, he's ringing me and he's coming over, and whenever he come to England, he always rang me and we meet up and then we go, I'll take him to a club, blah, 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 blah. And then he linked me with a lot of the artists.
Nice.
So they were like, yo, when he come to England,
yeah,
call Woody, you know, and he'll, you know, and then I used to just go, well, I don't know what to do. Like, either come to me or such and such is doing so, go to them. So I'd ring certain promoters and say, look, listen, this is happening, you know, and it's all to do with I think it's just the connections, the networking.
Yeah.
You know, it is a lot. Like when I look back and I think to myself, half of the time, you know, I'm like, I have to. Like people go, yeah, I need such and such, and I have to go, hang on a minute, and I'll go through my phone. And
yeah.
I go, yeah, I got something. Yeah, I got something. You know what I mean? I don't remember everything.
Yeah.
There's so much there and so much to deal with, you know.
But I think that's such a powerful message, though, in terms of like whether it's hospitality, nightlife, or just business generally, like how far building relationships, connections with people can kind of move your career forward. So it's a powerful thing.
Yeah, I mean, like as I said, it just goes on and on. But the thing is that I like opening doors for people. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've
I
noticed
just do
that.
that. I open a lot of doors. I just like having that. See, I always seen it as like I never got that opportunity, so I had to sort of kick the door down. You know what I mean? But I had to work it. You know, I worked it hard. But I think once you get into a certain position, it's no skin off my nose to just, you know, pick up a phone and make something work for someone.
Right.
You know what I mean? It does. And I'm not that person who would turn around and go, "Oh, you owe me," or you know what I mean? Whatever. I just think like later on one day, if I do have to make that phone call, I don't have to ask you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll just help it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm never going to be that person who's going to have to say it over you. Mate, I've done thousands of things. I don't ever sit there and go, oh, you owe me something. I've never done that in my life. Do you know what I mean? I just think like I don't need you, but if you need me, I'll help you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It means nothing to me. Nothing at all, to be fair.
So with your DJ career, how did you manage to get yourself onto radio? Is that for your connects as well?
That was being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
So I'd done a lot of like I had done radio, like you know, for fun. I just saw it as a hobby. I ain't gonna lie, I found it as a hobby. You know, when I look back now, I did things like solar radio, and you know, I've done guest slots on One Extra and whatever. You know, I've done bits and pieces. But what happened was, so where I was doing like all these tours, so I was playing. So I used to do carnival in Trinidad and things like that, right? And then, so basically, what happened? Hang on, let me remember where it was. So basically, I was in Antigua, and Choice was there at the same time. Now, I can't remember what they were there for, but anyway, they were there. I'm doing my thing over here on my own, and then they're doing their thing over here. And obviously, they come over to the gig I was doing, and then they were like, "This geezer's English. This geezer's from Britain. Like, we need this geezer."
Yeah.
So at the time, obviously after a few drinks, I've turned around, you know, they were like, "Yo, when you come back, you need to come and see us." And I was like, yeah, whatever. And I didn't think nothing of it. And then I went on the World Cup tour. I went on the World Cup tour, and they were there as well. And I was working for Trinidad and Tobago, even though England was on the World Cup. And so I was working there, and we was in every single place for about a month. So we was in like Dortmund, Nuremberg. I'd never been to Germany as well. It was the first time, and it was the biggest heat wave ever. It was so hot.
Yeah.
Like we was all like trying to get fans and everything because no one had aircon because it was like the biggest heat wave ever. So we was doing all these gigs all over, and they were there as well. And then I did this big Trini party, and I can't even remember where it was. But where was it? I can't even remember. But it was in this basement, and everyone's turned, and they've turned up, and this was a party. This went off. This proper went off, right? And they were like, "Oh my God, it's that geezer again," kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So when I come back from Germany, there was virtually a contract there waiting, and I actually did turn up and ran, and then before I know it, it was so funny because I got thrown right in the deep end as well. Like. I remember it was a Saturday, and they went, "You're going to do this Saturday," and I was like, "What?" I didn't even had like, I didn't even looked at the equipment or nothing. I don't know what I'm pressing. Like, don't worry, you'll be all right. Like, there's going to be someone there to do it and all this sort of thing. And I was like, "Boy, what am I going to play? Like, what do you want me to do?" Like, and they were like, "No, just be you." I was like, "All right, fair enough." So I remember the very first show. I see, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Yeah, I get proper. Like, you know, people don't notice it, but I do.
Yeah.
Like, one slight inch of a mix out or whatever, it does me nothing. So I kind of didn't prepare, and I sort of went in, and that's when I got a drift of everything. And to me, I hated that show. That was the worst show in the world to me. But everybody loved it. Like, they were like, yeah, you're going to be doing that. And I was like, so then after that, I sort of thought, well, I better put my head together and sort of work out how I'm going to put this show together. Yeah. So that's where I come with the name Joint and Jam Sessions. And I was like, and the reason why I call it Joint and Jam Sessions, because a lot of people go, where you get that name from? I get it from the Black Eyed Peas. They did a track called Joint and Jams.
Right.
And that used to be one of my favourite tunes. And I loved the way, because you go, that's the joint, that's the jam, turn up for, you know what I mean? I'm like, joint jams. Because my session of music is everything.
Right.
So when I went on to Choice, at the time, obviously, it was hip-hop, R&B, bashment, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, my show's going to be a party. Yeah, I want my show to be a party. I want a bit of this, bit of that, because of the timing of when it was on. So it was a case of, you're getting ready to go out on a Saturday night, you turn on, you're hearing everything. Yeah, I'm not going to just dominate a 2-hour show on one style of music. I'm going to do the lot.
Right.
And then, so building that show there was like, and then what happened was I wanted to do everything myself. I wanted to be the producer. I wanted to do everything, because I just saw it as like, if this mucks up, it's on my head. I don't want to be in a situation where I got someone having to deal with whatever they're dealing with. So, and I had more ideas, like, you know, so I prepped the show. I started realising, like, prepping it all up, getting everything all in place, getting all jingles and whatever I had to do. And then I come up with an idea which was called Woody's Big Break. Because what I wanted to do, I wanted to use the platform for artists. Yeah, I'm talking, the way I saw it was, how did I used to say? I used to say, it doesn't matter if you sign, unsign, whatever floats my boat, I'm going to play. Yeah, so send me your music. Yeah, and I would go through so much music, and I'd select so much good stuff, and then I would ring them up and I'd say, right, you're going to come in and do an interview. But I didn't want to be that kind of interview where it's like you're going to lose a crowd or whatever, the way you're talking. I wanted it to go, right, this is going to go in the mix, right? You're going to come in, so it's like you're in the party, we're going to go bing, bang, bosh, and then back into the mix again. So there's no stop-start. It flows. So if you're on a Saturday night, if you're in the car and all that, I'm thinking the way our people think. So they're like, music, music, music. And then it's like, boom, got such and such in, this is their new song. And then I'd say to them, use this platform for your plug. And this ain't about me right now. Yeah. This ain't about me, this about you. So it's a case of, where can people find you? What's your social? Da-da-da-da, bang, 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 bang. And then it's like, yeah, wicked, and that was him. Yeah, right, crack on to the show. So that's how I kind of made it work, because whenever I listened to other people, it was like, they'll do whatever they do, and then they stop and go, you know, and up next we got blah, blah, blah. And then, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's too long. I just think like, you want to keep it where it's hype, because you can't stop everyone. It's like being in a club. That's why I saw it. If you're in a club and then you just stop, you know, like sometimes like you could be in a club, right? It's like PAs, right? It's like, if the PA ain't good, yeah, and you put a PA on, it stops everything.
Kill the night.
Do you know how much of a headache that is for a DJ to redeem back again
Yeah.
after you've left it like that?
Yeah.
And then that PA flops it,
Right.
yeah? And no one says anything, but it's the back of the DJ straight after
Totally.
to get it right back
Yeah.
up and running.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always a bit, I mean, listen, I'm totally with it, yeah? But I'm also like, you know, have you seen these people, PA? No, not really. What? I find it very, let people like, get better at the skill. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. If you're already up there as an artist and you come in, yeah, of course, because you got the thing. But sometimes people in the clubs, they'll put these newcomers on and you go, oh, mate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. But, I just think like with that situation with Choice, so when I put everything together, that's when the show started rolling. And then basically, then they were giving me more time. So like if people was away, drive time or whatever it was, I got thrown in there. And I took everything.
Yeah.
I took everything. Once I started getting in it, then you started realising like, I'm using up 2 of my days a week to do one show. Because I was so on a perfectionist. I would like literally for 2 days put this show together for them 2 hours. So I made sure. And I remember a lot of DJs used to ring me up from other radio shows and go, how'd you put that together? How'd you do it?
Yeah.
It's
It was
tight.
really good,
That's what they kept saying. It's tight. But that's what I wanted. I wanted
Yeah.
to make sure it was tight. I didn't want it to make that, because you could hear it back in the day. Now, radio's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally different ballgame what they put together now.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question about like what it did for your personal brand and bookings, like being on radio? Choice,
Again, one of the main things I never did was I never sold myself as Choice FM or Capital Extra DJ. Right. First of all, you couldn't. Yeah. Certain promoters would try and slip that little.
Yeah. We tried it.
And believe me, they're on you. Not me, they're on you. Yeah, they spot everything. They must have some special like thing on the website because somehow they spot everything. Right?
Yeah.
Or they might say like, the name's that's bigger than that and whatever. But it didn't really bother me. I never went out of my way and said like DJ Woody Choice FM or DJ Woody Capital Extra or DJ Woody Uptown. Like I never really tried to do that. I always just said DJ Woody. Do you know what I mean? I never really cared about that. You know what I mean? I just think like, don't get me wrong, get it on a promoter. Whatever. But I never went out of my way to sell my name as. I never hardly ever told people like. Oh I'm the one. Oh, I'm thinking from this, I never really did that. I just me, you know what I mean? I wouldn't. That's it.
But what was your biggest gig of your career, and what was like the hardest gig of your career?
Oh, mate, I would say to this day, I mean, I've done a lot of gigs. A lot of them are big. You know what I mean? Like, I used to do. So basically every year in the summer, I was involved with Live Nation, and they used to have Hyde Park, right? And they'd have it for 2 weeks. So the first week would be like Hard Rock Weekend Festival. During the week, they'll fit in whatever. It could be Madonna, Blur, I don't know, whatever. And then the other weekend will be Wireless. Yeah. Right? So I was the backstage hospitality DJ. So basically, the VIPs paid loads of money to be in this room with all the artists, all the crew and all that. And obviously it was all like free drink and all this sort of business. And I remember next door you'd have Barclay Card. And that was like where the royalties were, if they turned up and all that sort of thing. So I did that and as I said, I did that many a time. And there was like, so I'll give you an example. Probably one of the best days I ever did was I did the Hard Rock Cafe, and the warm-up was Jamiroquai, which was one of my favourite groups. And then straight after that, Stevie Wonder.
Jeez. Wow.
And I'm in the middle. You know what I mean? And it was like, wow, but it was so good because it was so eclectic. You could just play what you wanted, and the crowd was wicked. But I was more buzzing off the back of them two. You know what I mean? I was like, and because I knew JK at the time, like, through his career. Because the first time I ever met them was in Ealing Broadway. And I was DJing, like we was talking about PAs. They were like, oh, yeah, we're going to put this band on with you called Jamiroquai. No, they didn't even tell me what they were called. And I was like, a band? They go, they're only going to do like 20 minutes. I was like, what? We're in a club. Yeah, and then I see JK turn up, like, at the time, big hat and all that shit. And then they turned up and they did Man, they were wicked. I sat there and went, what? And I've still got that CD. They had a promo CD they were selling to everyone in the for like $5 or whatever. I bought that CD. And the 3 tracks what were on there, the first track was the first one we got signed to Acid Jazz. And then the second track on there was when they got signed to Sony. Yeah. So then over the years, we was passing through. And
Brilliant.
I've done quite many things for them. But that was, you know, the Hyde Park was big. Like, it was big.
Yeah.
But if I was to say, oh, mate, and again, you got all over the world. I remember I got sent to, where was it? Kiev. Yeah, one time. And I'll never forget that. I flew into Kiev and, well, I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't even see the runway.
Yeah.
There was so much snow. It was like minus 28 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I get off the plane and it's like blizzard and all that. And then I was thinking, mate, this is something different here, Woods. What are you doing here? You know what I mean? So they pick me up and they take me I go into Kiev and then they put me up in this hotel. And with me, if I go somewhere I don't know, I don't want to go out the hotel and have a little look around and see the people. You know what I mean? I'm walking around this place and I'm thinking, boy.
Yeah, middle of nowhere.
This ain't good, Woods. You know what I mean? This is like when I saw it, I was like, raw. And then I went into this shopping centre and there was no one in there. It was like, you know what I mean? Like that's when I started realising like locals, they ain't got no money. Yeah. So I'm thinking, who's going to turn up at this club? Because they were trying to tell me, the people were saying like, I don't know, a week's wages is going to cost them a drink or something. And I'm like, what's going on here? And they've just set up this massive club with like Disneyland lighting and stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like, it was like top. So anyway, I get to this club and it was like all models, just pure models in there. And yeah, it was all right. It was all good. But then it made me look at it and think. So basically, as I was coming out of the airport, they dropped me off at the airport to go home. And as I was going through I was like this, yeah, see you later, mate. And as I go through, they pull me over. The customs people, they take me out to a room. And then, like, basically, they're going through all my stuff. And I'm, like, looking at it. And I could see them, like, looking at it, thinking, like, yeah, we're going to have this and all that. I'm thinking, oh, mate. And then they started taking money off me. Oh. And I'm thinking to myself, I need a phone. Like, I'm in trouble here. And then basically what they did was they held me up so I couldn't get a flight. And then they charged me for the next flight. This was with British Airways.
Oh, gosh.
They charged me like $400 or something like that. So I just wanted out of the room, man. I said, here, take the money, go.
Right.
Anyway, when I got to British Airways, I was like, saying to them, I said, yeah. And they said, oh, no, they didn't pay for that. They just swapped it over. So I thought, that's where all the pocketing was going. Do you get what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, and then I spoke to the agent in England. I said, boy, they were like, yeah, how was it? Because I was the guinea pig before they were going to send all the others out.
Oh,
and I said, mate,
gosh.
when you send them out, go with someone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everything went sweet after that because they sorted out the money and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, I've gone into areas where it's a bit of madness.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Some mad places like Russia, like. But it's been good. But I've gone. I always seem to be that guinea pig. Like, oh, no one's gone there yet. We'll send Woody out there first.
Yeah, test the waters.
Yeah, and then we'll go through it from there.
He'll come through it.
And like an idiot, I'll go out there on my own. Yeah, what's happening? Actually, I'm on my own here.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone here.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, but the other gig, the one I would say the biggest one would have to be.
So that was your lowest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I never went back again.
Yeah,
I didn't go back there. I didn't go Kiev again. So, but I'd say the biggest one would be. It's got to be the Princess Diana. Reunion.
Okay.
Whatever it was called. So basically, Harry and William put on. Right. So going back to history. Princess Diana always did a concert at Royal Albert Hall where she'll put all her favourite artists on, right? So obviously her boys put the concert on at Wembley Stadium, with hers and up-to-date people, whatever. Now what they did that night was the after party was at Wembley Arena. And what I love, still to this day, I love what they did. I'll tell you exactly. So it was on the first day they stopped smoking. It was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So it was going to be that day where no smoking in clubs, whatever it was, whatever it was. So it was on that day, and there was no such thing as VIP or anything in this night. So imagine Wembley Arena where they put all the cape around the side so you couldn't see the seats, right? And then I don't know if you remember all the adverts for BBC. You know the girls who sort of like go down the ropes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Like Cirque du Soleil
acrobatic.
kind of
Yeah.
vibes, yeah.
Well, they had all them there. So they're all in the middle, going down, up and down and everything. And then it was like a big square and it was like lobster here, mojitos here, drinks here. It was all paid for. And then you had the dance floor here. And so when you walked in, there was no tables, there was no nothing. So what the boys done was any person who was involved in that concert, from the tea girl to the artists to everyone, all went in here.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's probably the biggest thing I've ever seen, because I remember sitting at the bar. I was standing at the bar because I was DJing that. There was only 2 DJs that night as well. It was me and Eric Murillo.
Okay.
Right?
Jeez.
And I'm standing at the bar and I'm thinking, how do you explain this in the morning? Right? I'm standing here, got Take That there, right? Got Spandau Ballet there, I've got Tom Jones here, right? Mate, I couldn't even tell you even more. It was like loads. And I remember I wanted a cigarette. So I went outside. I was like, where's the cigarette? And they went, right at the back, like over there. So we went out and there was this little section outside. And there weren't no one out there. It was like I was the only one who found it. So I'm out there and I'm having a cigarette. And then I hear this geezer turn around and go, yo man, you got a cigarette? Like,
Yeah.
I look round and I don't get starstruck. I swear to God, but this one done me. Right? I looked over and I thought, no, it can't be him. And then I realised it is him. And I went, yeah, here you go, mate. I had a cigarette and we got chatting and all that. And out there nowhere, I turned around to him and I went, why didn't you do Lost Boys 2? Like, it was Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Because he was doing presenting. Yeah. See, I didn't know all the people who was doing the presenting as well as whatever. And he was like, man, there was a script, whatever. And we got on like a house on fire, like straight away. Again, like what we was talking earlier. It was like, yo, man, have you tried the mojitos in there? No, come on, man, we're going to go and have a mojito. Also, I'm like,
Really?
I'm like his best mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I'm rocking it. But yeah, so we went back inside and we see just, the place was packed by then, you know, and it was like everyone, you know. I couldn't believe how many people was in there.
Amazing.
In the way of industry.
Yeah.
You know, I was just standing there. No one's sectioned off.
Right.
Even the royals weren't sectioned off.
Yeah,
They're
it's
bowling about
amazing.
the place.
So Prince Harry, Prince William.
Everyone was walking about. Everyone, the whole family was all walking about in there. It was like, you know, doing whatever they want, and then they're all dancing on the dance floor and everything. It was wicked. It was a mad night, absolute mad night.
I got to ask you this. You got me in now. So, was there a tune that you dropped that you thought, oh, this one might not go down well, but it rocked it
I
for the
got
Royals?
requested to play Eminem,
Okay.
right? And it was coming from Harry.
Yeah.
So he wanted to hear that song.
Love that.
That's what he was into.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't know about this. What one do I use?
Yeah.
The one what was it? The one he asked for was hardcore.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, I was going to go with like My Name Is or something.
Yeah.
Commercial.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know about this. I mean, but it's just the typical thing. Once you dropped it, he's dancing. Everyone thought, well, he's dancing here. This is all good. Like, you know what I mean? So I thought, if he wasn't dancing, I reckon it would have gone down really bad. But he was like, yeah, like kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
gosh.
yeah, you get things like that. But that night was. Yeah, I still remember that. Out of all the things I've ever done, I'll always remember that night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
100%.
wicked.
That sounds phenomenal.
Like with all your, obviously your experience in the nightlife and everything, have you seen industry change in a way, in a good way or like a negative way?
Massively. See, right, so I like to keep my ears on up to date. I like to go in whatever. Listen, everyone's got their own opinion about all this, but this is my opinion. My opinion is that I don't want to sound like I'm an old fart or whatever, but I still say we done it the best way.
Yeah.
Right? I still say it, right? I'm just annoyed that the new people who sat and watched us doing whatever they're doing did not create their own vision of it. Yeah, it was like, to me, it feels like they've just gone, well, we know better, we're going to do it our way. Which I think now has gone too far in the way of, depending on the gig, like, right, so I think social media's a lot to do with it, yeah? Because I've been trying to think of this for ages, and I
Yeah.
think I've kind of pinpointed what it's all about. I think social media is a massive thing to do with it, right? Of the way of it's killed it, yeah? And the reason being, what I'm saying is that if you look back over the videos and years of us all partying and all that, right, you wouldn't see a phone in sight, yeah? Everyone knew how to talk, everyone knew how to socialise, right? Most of the time when I'm doing these gigs, yeah, it's just an ocean of phones.
Yeah.
It's everyone doing that. Like, so you're now becoming a concert. Do you understand?
Right.
So you're looking at everyone going, why ain't no one dancing? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's their way of saying I'm enjoying myself. Because if they all left, then obviously you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So I look at it like that's what people want to show. You know what I mean? And I think as well, social skills has gone down miserably. Yeah, because I'm watching the way no one talks. You know what it was like. You go in a club, you might see some girls. All right, girls, how you doing? You want to drink?
Yeah.
And that's how you got in the
Yeah.
mix. Oh, no one seems to be talking to anyone. It's like you get a group of girls on their own here, a group of boys here, and no one's mingling. Lot of looking.
Yeah.
A lot of people just looking at each other. But no one doing that movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it creates and the way I see the clubbing situation, this is clubbing that. You know, you got to go with, like as I said, keeping up to date what's going on, what's in. You know, sometimes I do scratch me in a lot and think, really? Like, is this what people are liking? And that's not me trying to be old. That's me going, but there's no vibe here. You know, music has changed a lot. You know, if you go back all to the beginning of like, music had hooks, it had choruses, it had all this. That's all gone. Yeah.
Right.
You know, so if you're using certain hip hop artists or grime artists, there might be a segment in the actual tune where they want to shout it back to you. But to me, say with newer generation, their mind span is quick. In other words, a lot of DJs ain't letting songs breathe. Yeah. And I get it, because you got to get into the next one, because you can see them. It'll be like first chorus, and then they're like, what's the next one?
Yeah.
And then you got to go bang, 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 bang. So as a DJ, you're working harder and harder and harder. But let the tune breathe, man. Let it breathe.
Yeah.
You ain't got to go bang, 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 bang. A lot of DJs go bang, bang, bang because they're trying to impress the other DJ, or they're trying to kill them off in the way of like, let me be a rinser. Yeah? You know what I mean? You know, I love all that.
Yeah.
I love going in a club and the DJ's looking at me trying to be impressive. Hey, look what I got. Bang, 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 bang. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, man, you give me an hard nut. I got big deep. It's the reason why I walk around with a 2 terabyte hard drive. You know what I mean? Because of people like that. Like, I get it. They're like, I got this tune. I got this. Without saying anything, I got this one. What do you reckon? And I'm like, oh, you know. But some people would struggle. But I just think like now, when I look at clubs now, I just think like, where's the vibe, man? Where is the vibe?
Yeah.
And again, let's go back even further back. And this is what I was saying to a lot of owners in the West End. Let's just say the West End situation. So when West End was on, you'd have your VIP booths, right? And it was perfect. And you had your dance floor, right? Everything was perfect.
Yeah.
You'd get more money with the booths because it was exclusive.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the drinkers, which was everyone having a dance, right? The way I see it now, as they started saying, if we can get this amount of money for each booth, let's make more booths.
Right.
So all of a sudden, now booths are moving on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Then it got to a stage where anyone going to dance.
Exactly.
So then everyone becomes individual parties around booths.
Yeah.
Which just takes it all away. What's the point of me being here?
Yeah.
No one's
true.
looking at you.
Yeah.
Then you go to certain clubs and they've refurbished everything. Next minute, you walk in a club, you can't even see where the DJ is.
Yeah.
You might be underneath the stairs in a little box like that. No one knows you. It looks like you're in a cloakroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the whole atmospheric thing. Don't get me wrong, it's starting to come back again. See, there's a lot of clubs using the Noddle, using this 360 business.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I like that. Yeah, because now without having tables, people are paying extra to be behind the DJ.
Yeah.
All right, they're a bit too up close and personal. You end up having a bit of tug of war with people, like, because you're trying to mix and they're all getting in close. You know? Like, go on, move out of the way. But I like that because it creates. Them ones want to be because now you got the social media, so you can have the camera on the DJ and the crowd, so they want to be in it. Bit like back in the day when you had Top of the Pops, so they wanted to stand next to the producer, going, "Here, mum, you see me here?" Like,
Yeah.
And then you got your ravers in front.
Right.
So I like this new idea, this 360 thing. This is a good idea.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of West End clubs should go down this line.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even like going back to, what was it, Vendome.
Yeah.
They set out
that
you had
venue
the
was
big
yeah.
circle in the middle.
That venue
that
was
was kind of the original 360.
Yeah.
You had a big circle in the middle. Like, it was wicked for a DJ. There was so much space in there. But everybody was around you. And then you had these little niches for
The VIP
booths.
booths,
So that was a good idea back in the day. Hence the reason why it was such a popular club.
Yeah.
Yeah, because originally
Right.
when it was Pangea, DJ was right at the back.
Yeah.
In a corner.
Yeah.
And then you had the whole front. But once the club started taking away the dance floor, that's kind of when I went, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because I could see where it was going.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Next minute, what I call, I don't even know what you call it, but then your Shoreditches started opening up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you go to Brixton, Clapham, Hackney. That boy, it's now a new zone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Big zone.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah.
You know, trendies. I
Yeah.
call it a trendy zone.
Yeah.
Trendy zone. Right. As I said, how that's all changed, I don't know, but it's just gone on a mad one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's brilliant. It's really good. So like now, them people who were spending all that money in booths and all that, without being hassled that much, because you got to remember, them people would get the door, yeah, give us a grand for your thing. Like, they were being pushed to pay.
Yeah.
And I think what happened was these, what we called the suits back then, they were like, I'm bored of this now.
Yeah.
Why am I going to keep paying? So they wanted to go. Then they started venturing out to Shoreditch and all these places where they will still spend a grand.
Yeah.
But they ain't been pushed for it. And they're enjoying their night.
Yeah, yeah.
So they kind of killed themselves doing that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? But I
Yeah.
just think, like, if you haven't got a dance floor, yeah, how do you expect to make any atmosphere?
Yeah.
That's always been my question. And no matter, and I know it all boils down to money. I get it, right? But that can only last for so long.
Totally. Yeah.
Because as you know, we've seen it all. You
Yeah.
know, you had the champagners and all that, yeah, and then they were trying to figure out the next move. Oh, you know what? Chuck them lot on the table there, give them like a fake bottle,
Yeah.
and the geezer next door is going to buy the real bottle.
Yeah,
You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they see the big fireworks and all that, and then they go, and the geezer who's got the money goes, well, I'll go with that. You
Yeah.
give me one.
Yeah.
And that kind of worked, and then that all started falling
Totally.
apart. Like
Yeah.
people was, they're clocking it.
Yeah.
You know?
Fell for the trap, really, because
Yeah.
like you see people with one big bottle,
Yeah.
and then you see another person coming with, I don't know, 9 fake bottles, and it's just a promoter on the table.
Yeah. I mean, we knew so much behind the scene
Yeah.
compared to the one who didn't know the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks amazing and all that, you know. Then you had, you remember the clubs who used to make up big tickets saying, oh, some geezer come here and spend 120
Grand, yeah, yeah.
And then that club's packed the following week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, how that made that work, I do not know. I couldn't work that one out. I was like, the last thing I want to be doing is going to the club's going to cost me 120. But it did make it work. It
Yeah.
was a worker. You know,
Yeah.
they started going, oh yeah, we had this mysterious man and he spent 120 grand in the club. And it was like, they started putting it out in the papers.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
the receipt.
Right.
Yeah.
It went viral, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was their way of viral.
Exactly.
In the papers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it, bang, that would be packed. I remember that one as well. But the main issue of it always is, I said, listen, I think it's sort of going back to its original self now, yeah? Where you've got your club,
Yeah.
you've got your DJ as the main attraction,
Yeah.
right? You've got certain areas to have your seating, and then you've got your dance floor, and then you've got your lighting.
Yeah.
And again, with the technology now, you've got, like, say, the screens that you can use. You got everything. You know, the lighting and all that has gone back to its original self of what we call discotheque, right? If you remember rightly, that all got taken away, and it was all about look. You know, lights on the wall and stuff like this.
Yeah.
You know, it had this like cool look sort of thing, but the atmosphere went away. So now it's a case of going back to its original roots.
Yeah.
To me, that's what it looks like it's going right now.
Yeah.
And hopefully it does.
Definitely. I think what's interesting as well, like I like partying all over the world and stuff, but I went to Miami, dead atmosphere because it was just too many tables. But then you go to Vegas or Ibiza, and there's a wicked atmosphere because of what you've just described, where Miami had gone way too table heavy, whereas Vegas and Ibiza, I feel like they've held on to the dance floor.
I worked at Hackison, in Vegas, right? And boy, that is an amazing club, right? Because of the whole. And it reminds me back the day when I was at the Hippodrome. Now at the Hippodrome, if anyone remembers. So what had happened was everyone being in the club in the Hippodrome, and then I think it was around about 12 o'clock they'd do this whole scenario, welcome to the club kind of thing, right? So there used to be a bloke on this keyboard and he was like some big build up, and then all of a sudden the lights would come down from the ceiling and it was like, bang.
Yep.
You're in Hippodrome,
Right.
and the dancers and everything all come up.
Show.
It was like a big show thing. It was wicked. It was so good. Well, you go to the one in Hakkasan, that's on another level.
Yeah.
You feel like you're in another planet. Like but they got the money and they got the thing.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere is just crazy. It's like and it's like you give people a show. Yeah, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get the thing. You're gonna get the people. You're gonna get the atmosphere.
Definitely.
Right. So I'm always been a strong believer of that.
Yeah.
You know, and the music as well. It will always go 10 times further than what you're playing because there's so much to look at.
Exactly.
That's why I've always said, like with say EDM sort of, I don't know, DJs, whatever. They build them up to have so much of a concert, right? So they'll go on the stage, they're DJing, they got all these lights, lasers, and everything. It makes them look like they're Superman, right? Pick him up, put him in a club that we play, and let me see what happens there.
Silence.
I'm telling you. Right, you put anything by me, like, or any DJ, if you've got all these lasers and 3D screens and all that sort of thing, you've got to remember there's a geezer standing opposite who's doing it to all the beats and all that and making you look like a legend. Fire and all this.
Yeah.
You know, pick him up,
Yeah.
put him in a real club. Let me see what he's like then.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm telling you, he's going to do his work.
Yeah, I think
He's gonna have to do his work.
and you see that a lot with these celebrity DJs who they can't really DJ.
Yeah.
But because they've got the sound engineers and the people all around them pressing all the buttons for them, making them look good. But people fall for it.
Listen, again, you know, I get a lot of people, all kinds of people, celebrities, whatever, and they would sit there and they go, yeah, Woods, I want to be a DJ, can you tell? And I say, listen, there's two things I see here. Do you want to be a DJ for the lifestyle?
Yeah.
Or you want to be a DJ? Because if you want to be a DJ lifestyle, I ain't interested.
Yeah.
When I say lifestyle, they see this with the social media thing again, you know, like, you look at me, like, all that rubbish, right? No. Focus.
Yeah.
Listen to the music. Understand the music, right? Work your sets out, yeah? Be the best.
Yep.
Yeah? Sit there. One of my main problems is that, like, when I go on the decks, right, I'm too fully focused. I'm in the zone every time. Yeah, I'm not that DJ who looks up and go, like, sort of thing, goes, yeah, and all that. Like, you won't see me do that. I'm on the next thing. I'm in the zone because I'm just making sure. Because I've been doing this long enough to not even have to look up because I know what people want.
Right.
Once I see that certain...
Yeah.
Because as a DJ, you have to do tasters. I call them tasters. So basically, you know, you might walk into a crowd and you look at them and go, oh, bloody hell, where am I going to go here? And then you think, right, I'm going to... I do like the freeze tracks, yeah? I do this, and then I see the movement, and then I know I go down that line.
Right.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I go down that line, yeah? And the free will always catch them. There's always what I call the guarantee. You know, definitely they're going to go down here, but can they have a bit of this? Or can they have that bit of that? And that's what changes you as a DJ. Yes, you know, a lot of DJs, they might not even... Because you got to remember, going all the way back, I was talking to this with one of the promoters, Gilly, the other night, and I was saying to him, you know what, I miss the days when we was doing gigs and we'd say, oh, who's on the gig? Such. And then I go, yo, where you playing? Where you going tonight? Are you going to go down that line? Oh, I'm going to go down this line. Yo, we're going to go down this line. You're going to play this? Yeah, we're going to go down that line. And then what we was actually doing, and this is when we had the records, we'd be picking out.
Yeah.
But what we was making happen was making the night work. In other words, it's going from 10 till 4, and everyone's going to stay there, right? Because the first warm-up DJ will be playing this style. The middleman's going to play the bangers, like, you know, this is the hype set, and then you're going to have the finisher, right? And then basically by all us communicating, we made the nights work. That's why people was able to go to a club at 10 o'clock, and when you put the lights on, they're still there at 4.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons why clubs don't last that long is because there's no communication between the DJs who are playing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So we come from a base where we do 6-hour sets. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
We do that with eyes closed.
Yeah.
Boy, I've done many of them, probably more. You know, where it's like, boy, I'll just do this all on my own all night and I'll just go through and you ain't going to hear that song twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how much there is. But I think learning on the build up of doing that, that's what gave you your skill.
Right.
Yeah. You know, if I turn around to a lot of newcomers and said to them, go and do a 3-hour set, they'd struggle, mate.
Yeah.
Because they all want to do like a 45-hour set. They bring it in on a USB stick. That's it. Now, they ain't thinking about as that DJ played whatever on your USB stick before you. Because there's no way you can have that kind of collection on that USB stick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. When we was dealing with records, we had 100 records in each box. Sometimes I would bring 3. So that's 300 records. And you try carrying them. That's why you had all your mates. So each one had a bag.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get through the crowd. So you go, your mate, just go straight through them.
Exactly.
Everyone's on the dance floor and you've got to get through them. Go, man, out of the way, bang, bang, bang. Like that with the box.
People are moving, right?
Straight through, straight through that crowd. You know, and then you get the box. And this is what we used to do. We used to, when you played the tune, we left it out on the side. So when the DJ comes in, he goes through it all. He knows exactly what you played. Lovely. No, it goes sweet. But again, I think that was where we had that kind of vision of what we was doing to what it is now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, all right, people have Serato. You know how many times I have to go in and I see him with Serato. Like, I mean, I use Serato now. But basically, I look in and I go, oh yeah, what you played, mate? And then I have to go on their history just to see what it is.
Yeah.
But they don't know it's there. Oh yeah, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? And I think to myself, and then you look at it and go, rinse. Oh, he's gone down that line. Well, I'm gonna have to go down this line.
Yeah.
But I strongly believe this is what you have to do now. Like, but we told everyone about this. It's like they don't bother now.
Yeah.
No.
You know? It just
Yeah.
And don't forget what we see, they haven't seen.
Yeah.
What they're seeing now, they think that's great. Fair enough. Yeah, that's your zone.
Yeah.
But believe me, if I'd have picked you up and put you in our zone, you'd have gone, whoa, this is proper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't care what anyone says.
I love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, gents. Well, wow,
enough,
you
though.
took me back into history, back again and back again. Like, amazing. But I want to just change it up for a little bit and go in something we call the quick fire round, which usually entails a fair bit of tea being spilt. So, and I know you've got a lot of stories, Woody. So, you know, I should have made sure there was some alcohol and some sugar in here for this one. But yeah, we call it the quick fire, but it's never quick. It always takes long. So, first one, and this is going to be a long list, I feel, but who's the biggest party animal celeb that you've DJ'd for or seen at one of your events where they just show up, get twisted, have a good time?
I'm going to say Iron Maiden.
Oof.
Really?
Wow. Yeah?
They're going to kill me for saying so especially one of them.
Right.
One of them, he was crazy. This guy here is the machine. The proper machine. Yeah, so I was doing stuff with them through Embassy. And one of them, I don't even want to say his name, but one of them, he was crazy. He was crazy, man. That guy can drink.
Wow.
That guy can party.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's one of these guys goes, I hate partying, I hate doing this, but he does it. You know what I mean? But one of the things was going back to like, so when you see the way different genres of people are, right? So you might have house, you know, I'm talking now, I'm going into a rock zone
Right.
here.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
So we used to work at Donington, right, which was a festival called Download Festival, which is probably one of the scariest things I've ever been to when I went there for the first time. But it was such good people, and it was like, what the hell am I going to play here? But later on down the line, the likes of people like Prodigy and all that started getting involved in it. But at the time, you're talking Iron Maiden. What was that group called? I'd never heard of them in my life. And there was like 90,000 people come to see them, and they were the scariest thing I've ever seen. But they would, what were they called again? Slipknot.
Okay.
Slipknot.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Crazy. That's what I mean. You want to talk about DJs. You want to talk about, I don't know, hip hop artists, whatever. Mate, they're not on another level. That's a regular for them. Them mans wake up in the morning, they're drinking tequila on their toast and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they're crazy people. Like, I was sitting in a green room with them, and I was like, wow, these people actually live like this. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was just a front thing.
Right.
You know, don't get me wrong, they're proper quality people. But I was like, and that was another thing with that Slipknot. We was in agreement, and they were like, "How you doing, mate? How you doing?" And all that. And then they put all the masks on, and they go out, and it just turn into this madness. I was like, that was the geezer who was in the premium just now. I was like, raw. But like, no,
Love that.
Yeah, they party. I mean, you got to really keep up with them. They do an easy 7-day bender without even flashing the time. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I've had sessions like good mates of mine, Peasy and Blocko, right? Back in the day, Ibiza, man. There was like one of them ones. They definitely make you miss a flight. You bump into them out there, you're definitely missing your flight. Yeah, come on, let's go here. And that was great times. What were great times.
Amazing.
But as I said, there's a good handful like that. There's good, but them ones, they're on another level.
Right.
Yeah.
This is it.
100%.
Rock stars in the West End. I've not heard that. That is,
Different.
I can tell you, AC/DC, Iron Maiden, who else? Them two, they were always together. They were mad. I met Jack Black, you know the actor.
Yeah.
He had a group, and they were called Tenacious D. Yeah, he was at Download with him and this other bloke. Quite funny actually. A lot of rude songs, but brilliant. Again, turns into a rock star. Like, man, there was so many of them. Metallica, like. Them lot are on another level. So when you see like the likes of back in the day, for an example, like your Guns N' Roses and all that, they were rock stars.
right. Exactly.
Yeah, Slash.
Yeah.
They were rock stars. They lived the way they lived. So when I see stories of like, say, Motley Crue, because the funny thing was I watched the film not long ago. I knew so much about them, but I didn't know them. Yeah. I watched that film and I thought, these lot were crazy. But that's what they're all like.
That's it.
They were all like that.
Yeah.
24/7. Man, they didn't sleep. Yeah, they're crazy.
Okay. No, do you know what? That's a new one. you know,
Yeah,
and I like
that's
it.
good. I like that one.
Yeah, Peter Crouch and those footballers full of that club a little bit tipsy.
Yeah.
That's one thing, and then this is a whole nother level, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah. There were, again, you had footballers.
Yeah.
Back in the day, 90s.
Yeah.
They did get a bit out of van.
Yeah.
Right? There was a few gigs I did for them in the way of Christmas parties.
Right.
You know, yeah, it got time. I remember one certain football team, we was doing their Christmas party at Paper. And a few of them got arrested at the end of the night, you know.
Really?
Yeah, bit drunk, you know, weeing in the street and all that, straight in the meat wagon. Do you know what I mean?
Shit.
You know, it is what it is. It was all banter, they were having a good time. But yeah, but no way. Still, they win the rock stars.
Yeah, okay.
100%
I love that.
I like
love
that.
that. Brilliant. And then another one, alive or dead. What celebrity would you have wished you could have played for or could have come to one of your events that haven't? I know you've had so many people that you've played for over the years, but like...
I just missed out on Biggie.
Okay.
I mean, I know, like at the moment, it's the big talk with the documentary and everything. But that gig, he was meant to be coming to London too.
Right.
That was with Choice and all that. So
Okay.
yeah, that was at Wembley or whatever it was.
Wow.
So I would have got a chance then, but I would like to have seen all that. I'd say Michael Jackson.
Yeah. His name's come up a few times.
Biggie
now.
and MJ.
Again,
that is-
I missed out on him because
Yeah.
I was going to be doing the after party at O2 Indigo.
Oh, when he had the
Okay.
50, it was a 50 events he was going to do.
So I did the after party for Prince because he did the same thing.
Yeah.
He was at O2 for a month.
Right.
So we was doing
Wait, you DJ'd for Prince?
Yeah, in O2 Indigo, yeah. So what he did was he did a show and then he went to Indigo O2 and he carried on the show sort of thing. And then we just did the music at the end.
Brilliant.
We did the same thing with Black Eyed Peas at
Yeah.
O2. So that was all sponsored with Bacardi and all that. And that's a crazy story. I'll tell you no one.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story. So obviously, you know, at the Indigo, right?
Yeah.
You've got the stage and everything, right? So I've turned up. So Black Eyed Peas, Will's doing a DJ set. They're on this. They got this sofa there. They got the cameras.
Yeah.
It was so good, like on the screen and everything. And it was all Bacardi. Anyway, we're backstage, and I'm just on the side, and there's just a lighting man here, and there was a guy standing right there, quite a short guy. He had a leather jacket on, and I've got my stuff, I've got my drink because I just come from that. What was it? The green room. Where and I've just come in. I'm standing there, and all of a sudden, I'm looking like through the side, seeing them doing their party stuff and all that. And then as I look to the right, it's Tom Cruise.
She.
No joke. I
Wow.
looked at him and he's well small as well.
Yeah.
And then Will I Am called him on the stage and he did that dance thing.
Oh
And
yeah.
he come on and dance. Now, I don't know what he was doing there, but I think he must have been filming that Possible Mission or something. He
Yeah,
must have been
Mission
doing something
Impossible.
like Mission
Yeah,
Impossible, that's it.
yeah.
But he was there. That was that.
Oh,
And he was
wow.
like, hi, like that. All cool. And then he went on the stage and started doing this. I was like, hang on, that's Tom Cruise. And then, do you know what I mean? It was like that. But yeah, that was
that's
a crazy
cool.
one. But a lot of the after parties, as I said, like for anything mostly at O2,
Yeah.
was always done in there straight away.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
But Michael Jackson, we was on for that.
Oh.
And there's again missed on that one.
Nah,
as
that's
well.
a shame.
Oh,
That's a
gosh.
shame. Again, I'll kind of maybe know a bit of this stuff already, but who were like celebrity fans of yours that you were surprised about?
You got Shakes,
Yeah.
a certain Shake, and then you got obviously Royalty.
Yeah.
You got Royalty.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I don't really want to say
Yeah,
much,
yeah.
too much about that side of it. Obviously, you all know, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's one. That's definitely the two
Yeah.
that I didn't know about.
Right.
And then,
Oh, that's wicked.
And as I said, like, yeah, we had some good times.
Yeah,
That's all
good.
I can say.
Shakes and Royalty.
Yeah, that's big boy.
That's
eh?
definitely a first on
Yeah.
Speakeasy Club.
Yeah.
And then, what DJ are you a fan of? Who have you got a best DJ?
I've got a lot.
Okay.
I got a lot. So I've probably got one for each kind of era.
Okay. Nice.
You know, because with me, you know, people go, "Oh, what you play?" And I go, "Well, I'm eclectic, really.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I can swim in all areas. You know what I mean? So, but I like to put everything together wherever I can do it. But if it come down to say, I'm a big fan of David Rodigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really do like David Rodigan. I love the way he presents. I like the way he selects. You know, I've always looked up to him. I also like a lot of the skill, like, so if you go all the way back to the roots that I used to follow, you got say for instance, like, let's say like your Jam Master J's and stuff like that.
Right,
You
okay.
know,
Nice.
Mix Master and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That was the whole point of like learning, because they used to put records together and then they would cut them all up,
Right.
and then obviously the MCs will come in,
Yeah.
the rappers say, or whatever you want to call it, and then basically, but the selector, they'll find little pieces of samples from some
Yeah.
madness and then just make it a tune.
Mm.
That kind of I used to be really into and watch, and obviously the scratchers as well.
Yeah.
I really do like the scratchers, and you know, and so there is different people, but you know, who gets me every time? That's the question. I don't know. I've that's another thing. I'm not really a DJ who's ever watched. I'm not a person who watches out what other people do. That's my biggest thing. I don't care. You know what I mean? I think that's what makes everyone an individual. Sometimes I like to switch off from everything and create my own.
Yeah.
And it might be a case that what I'm playing is what's already in. That means, hang on a minute, I listened to that, saw that as a good song, playing it, and it turns out
Right.
it is a good song
Yeah.
because it's already here, there, and everywhere. Because most of the time, I mean, going back to how I used to work was like, you know, in America they'd be playing all the songs down to me on the phone, and I'd go to them, right, and hearing the hits. You know, I remember when, so in America they had 50 cents in the club, for instance, right? I got hurt. They played me that in America straight away, and I was just like, and then they told me, oh, this is 50 cents. He's gonna be managed by Dr. Dre, Eminem. And I was like, right, how many you got them? 2,000 promos, right? Get that. Take the lot.
Yeah.
Once I spreaded that out, everyone was playing it on the radio before a record plugger could
Love
get
it.
to it.
Yeah.
Before you know it, it's a hit. It's number one worldwide. I said that's going to be the biggest. When I was selling that tune, I was like, this is going to be the biggest
Love it.
tune. Get involved in this tune, you know. And I did that with many, many, many tunes because you could hear it.
Yeah.
And the greatest thing back then was I could get a promo in the morning, play it at night, and everybody went with it. You didn't need a video. You didn't need to hear it on the radio. The ears were there with the people on the dance floor. They could feel the groove. They could feel the song. They might not know it,
Right.
but then you kept playing it every week and everyone got to know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was so much... I thought it was a lot more easier than to break records than it was now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I could sit there and go, this tune's wicked, but it's a case of saying to audiences, like, I'm going to play you a record and you're all going to ask for this in the next 3 months. So just go along with it now. But people don't. They want what's in now, what's hype, what's being played on TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what follows it.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, yeah, I mean, in the way of DJs though, there's a lot. There is a lot of DJs I like. You know, and but I don't really completely focus on them. I
Yeah.
mean, if you want, for instance, I'm feeling James Hype right now.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been watching him.
Yeah.
He's sick.
Yeah.
Sick DJ. That guy knows every technicality of Pioneer or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy knows tricks that I've never seen. But the same thing as DJ EZ.
Yeah.
EZ,
right.
he's a sick DJ. So, you know, they've worked on serious techniques that through social media is now makes them even more notified.
Yeah.
See, that was another thing. Back in the day when we had decks, yeah, when you was doing your scratching, doing your cuttings and doing all your things, crowd would just be looking at you like this over the decks, you know?
Yeah,
So everyone was on a hype feed, everyone got it, yeah? Then it got to a stage in clubs that you could be doing all that, but no one's noticing what you're
Right,
doing.
because you're.
No one knows what you're doing. They think it's the record, yeah? So
Exactly.
you're sitting there going, what am I working as hard as this for? I might as well just play the record.
Yeah.
Because they're not understanding what I'm doing like I used to do it.
Exactly.
So now, you know, you got to remember back in the day, you'd buy doubles, what we call doubles. So
Yeah.
if you had a record, you buy it twice, yeah? So you could cut it up, so you could do the, you know, the off thing. Like now, you got a button what does all that.
Yeah.
So the whole skill set is like gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, you had doubles as well, so you could give yourself 8-bar intro, because on a record you'd have radio, obviously LP version, a cappella, and instrumental.
Yeah.
So you play the instrumental and then you put in the actual tune, because you only get like 4 bars to bring a tune in. So now you could blend it in like nice. But again, now everything does it all for yourself. So. Yeah, now, so when I'm seeing these boys now, the way they're working, I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what they're doing, but they're going to another level. They're like,
Love it.
they're using technology like there's no tomorrow, and there's serious skill.
Yeah.
But like as I said, we went through a stage where it was like, why would we even bothering to do this? No one, because we're so far away from the crowd, from the stages and stuff like that. No one's understanding what we're doing. You could be the best scratcher in the world, yeah, but. Again, it depends on the music that you're in.
Right.
Yeah, you know, if you was a drum and bass DJ, yeah, they get it because they know about it. Yeah, whatever. But if you was doing that like in a West End club,
Right.
no one cares because they can't even see you in the first place. Like I said before, you're in the cloakroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no one cares. You could literally be sitting there playing, which is now out and about Spotify. You know what I mean?
Right.
No one knows. So as I said, I look into DJs who've got the skill, they're doing the work, they're doing whatever they do, selection. You know what I mean? So I just sit there and go, yeah. And I love DJs who try get out of the do something out of the boat.
Yeah.
I was always about that. You know, one of the things I was told many, many years ago, and I've always lived off the back of this. Right, a big DJ told me in America. I was in America. And this guy turned around and he said to me, a DJ will always be remembered over one song. Right? Now think about it, right? You're there, you've played an hour set, right? You've just gone in, done a set, you faded out. Next DJ comes in, done an hour, faded out, right? You get in that position, you play that one tune what got everyone. I'm talking about that tune that when everyone comes out at the end of the night, they go, oh, do you remember that DJ who played such and such?
Totally.
That one tune is what's got everybody. So what that tends to do is it's that one tune out of the box.
Yeah. Right.
Like, well out of the box that made everyone go and remember you as the DJ. So, as I said, you could be the best DJ in the world doing that certain lineup, yeah? But you, to make everyone walk away and remember you,
Right.
you've done that one little thing.
Yeah.
That one little thing. And a guy told me that a long time ago, and I always remember that. I said, you know what, sometimes you got to do that one, try it. Yeah, listen, you could kill a dance doing something out of the box, right?
Yeah.
But you know what, if you don't try, you don't get it.
Yeah.
And if you do it confident, if you do it with confidence, yeah, once you get that skill, because there was loads of different things, ideas that I used to come up with. And a lot of DJs used to copy it as well. And so you could hit like an a cappella of something, yeah? Say, for instance, Jocelyn Brown, right? Somebody else's go. At the beginning, obviously it's like, and when it gets to the end, before that piano comes in, no, it'll go the piano bit, and then at the end of it stops. There's a gap.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks you're going to go in that song, and bang, you hit them with something completely different or something on the genre of what you're going to play. Then you got the crowd.
Yeah.
There's thousands of things to find from.
Right.
You could put that. And you know what as well? We used to be able to humour people back in the day. That was another thing.
Yeah.
We could play something right out of the box for a laugh, right? And everyone would go with it.
Yeah.
And now it's a little bit harder. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that we used to play, like saying mad out of the box. Like you'd be playing hip hop and R&B, and all of a sudden, bang, you put this song in, and then and it'll work, and then you mix into it.
Yeah.
Because it's on the same vibe, and then you got out of it, and then again, it was like being creative.
Yeah.
It was all about being creative at the time. But we used to get away with loads of things. Like I'm trying to, it's gone out of my head now. But there's loads of things that we used to play that would be like, and then also, you got them back again.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
People
amazing.
ain't creative enough
Yeah.
at the moment. I mean, listen, everyone's going to think I'm hating or anything, but I'm just saying my opinion.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I like to educate
Yeah.
and tell people, give them ideas of what we used to do.
Right.
And da-da-da-da. And
Totally.
like, you take it on board or you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, again, DJing's changed in a massive way now.
Yeah.
Massive way.
It has for sure. All right, so I'm going to ask you one more question on Quickfire. Talk to me about like a club or hospitality experience that you look at and go, wow, that's amazing. I highly rate that. And it's something to be, you know, I wish I had created that.
Oh right, yeah, I get what you mean there. So
Could even be something.
I'm gonna go back to when I was living in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
I was in Abu Dhabi, never been there before. Went there for a week, ended up there for 2 years. But yeah, I become a resident overnight sort of thing. I opened up a club out there at the Emirates Palace, and then basically when I went to go home, it was like, where you going? Where you going? You got to stay. And I was like, man, I've got things to do. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I had my show, I had everything. You know, they were like flying me back to do my show and blah blah blah. And yeah, the hospitality was unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to travel into Dubai back then, and even though like now Dubai is the place to be, blah blah blah, but it was like it was just building. It was like what I call concrete city. You know what I
Right.
mean? Everything was
Yeah.
going up, but it was still like wherever. But Abu Dhabi was like being in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was open. It was like, you know, and it had better things.
Yeah.
Better hospitality, better. I mean, it was on a ridiculous level. I remember getting given this chocolate, right? They did like giving me this chocolate, and it was like a little chocolate thing, and it had gold looking. It was gold flake. It was real gold.
Yeah.
Real gold. No joke. It was real gold. And I remember asking them and said, "Why are you eating real gold?" And it was all about, you know, it sits in their stomach and, you know, the wealth thing. Do you know what I mean? You know, things like that. I was like, who does that? That's crazy. You know what I mean? That's proper crazy. So, but as I said, it was amazing at the time. It was amazing at the time. There wasn't really anywhere like that. I mean, apart from Vegas, which is like my favourite.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like a little kid in a sweet shop when I go to Vegas. I've been there so many times. It's unreal, and I love Vegas.
Yeah.
It gets me every time. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but yeah, partying, the hospitality, the way it is, the way they do it, the Americans. I mean, let's face fact, they really know how to go to town and make people feel like we're the winners. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, things like that is brilliant. But as I said at the time, Abu Dhabi has to be in the way of looks, hospitality, club-wise. It was on a level that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Didn't expect all that. That's more to the point. Did I want to own it or have it? No, not at all. I think I'd rather have a local pub, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That's if you're asking me the question, what I would have.
Yeah.
I'd have a nice little boutique.
Yeah.
Yeah, bougie kind of pub.
Yes.
Where everyone can come relax, have that fire in the corner, have the football going on, have the APIs rolling, you know what I mean? Have karaoke on a Friday or whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm about.
Community, man. I like
Community,
it.
that's
Yeah,
good.
That's
That's
wicked.
That's good.
All right, we survived quickfire. It wasn't quickfire as I said it But man, wow, what a life, man. She's
Yeah.
And I want to just ask you about, like, the world's quite a serious place at the moment, like, for various different reasons. And one of the favourite questions that we ask is, you know, hospitality's mad. Like, nightlife is mad. There's always things that go wrong. Like, what's the craziest story that you can remember that sort of at the time was a bit of a nightmare, but makes you laugh and might make our listeners laugh now?
Well, in a way of it going wrong.
Like, kind of, yeah.
Like the EasyJet.
Oh, the easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, EasyJet, right. So I was travelling. If people don't know, whatever it is, it's on YouTube. Whatever, right. So there's me doing my normal everyday thing. Go over to Ireland, to Belfast, to play in a place called Thompson that I've been doing for many, many years. I get to Ireland, and this actual night, which doesn't actually get explained properly, is the night when all the students get their grades.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The big one.
Yeah.
The O-levels or whatever it's called, right? So in Ireland, it's a big thing. Yeah, they go out and they party hard for like 3 days. Yeah, this is like Thursday night or whatever. So, so I fly out to Belfast, everything all cool, like as normal. Jerry's there to pick me up, whatever. I get there and I'm like on the conveyor belt and I'm like, where's me records? No, this ain't looking good. I was like, this ain't looking good. So, basically, as I go to the desk to tell them, obviously the EasyJet desk, I've turned up and I've gone like, oh, do you need any help? And all that? I said, yeah, I do. I've got a little bit of a problem here. I said, I've flown in for one night. Obviously, I'm doing Thompson's and I ain't got my records. So as soon as I'd done that, obviously, I didn't know there was a camera crew there. I didn't know that. I didn't have no clue about it. So then, obviously, the producer woman comes running over and going, oh, yeah, this looks good. Yeah, you know, do you want to sign this bit of paper? Yeah, do you mind if we video and film? And I was like, yeah, do whatever, like, whatever. I didn't actually know what this program was all about.
Yeah.
Like. So
this is an EasyJet show.
Yeah, this was some show,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Think. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, all I need is these records, right? So, cut a long story short, obviously, I'm getting on with this geezer. I get it. Man, I fly all the time. So I get that people just shouting all about all these people and all that shit. Listen, there's nothing that guy can do. You know? And it was at a serious situation with the terrorism at Stansted, right? So they were holding back all the bags. So this wasn't an easy thing to do, you know? And there was one more flight to go in that day. So he didn't get it on that flight. I was in trouble. The other little bits that you don't see is that I'm on that phone. I mean, you see, there's a bit where you see me with a phone. I'm on that phone, like ringing up all the DJs I know in Ireland, saying, I need to come around your yard and I need to collect some records as a backup here because I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm in big trouble here. So I had all them boys lined up. They were like, yeah, come around, man. We'll get the records together and we'll make a set tonight. I was like, yeah, wicked. But at the same time, they're in conjunction with me, like telling me whatever happening and all that. But they still couldn't guarantee me, saying like them, like for instance, the guy's telling me that it's on the flight, but he doesn't know it's on the flight. So the only way he's gonna know is when he gets to that conveyor belt and it's on. And you gotta remember, this is like this has got to be. I think this flight was something like 10:30 at night. This flight was coming in. I'm meant to be on at 12:30. Do you know what I mean? So I'm at this club. I'm like, I've pulled out a set. Yeah, I've got a set lined up just in case.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, it would have been. It was like going back to. Can you tell the lads beforehand? Don't play any of them records. I'm in trouble. Yeah. So obviously it all went through and everything, and I get my records. But at the same time, when I was talking to them all, I said, "Listen, you get this sorted, mate. The night's on me.
Yeah. Right. I've got you.
I'm taking EasyJet out for the night. You know what I mean? And the camera crew. And I was like, because boy, this goes wrong. I'm in trouble. You know. And It all went wicked. They all come down the club.
Oh, wicked.
Guy helped me out.
Yeah.
The funny thing was, I didn't recognise him straight away.
Yeah.
I'm DJing and all that, and I just had this bloke tap me on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, what's happening, mate? You want a tune like that? He went, no, it's me, Steve. And I went,
Oh,
oh
probably.
mate, because he got changed.
Oh, yeah,
He went
yeah.
home and got his best shirt on and all that. I was
Oh,
like, I
wicked.
didn't even recognise him. You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't recognise you. I went, yeah, get in here. Come on, you're the man. You're
That's
the one.
wicked.
So I kind of stood him up, made everyone feel like, I told him straight, I said, if it weren't for this guy here, this night weren't going on.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
wicked.
And everyone was like, yeah, Steve-O, Steve-O, and all that. And that was it. And it was a good ending of the night.
Amazing.
Ending of the show.
Yeah.
A viral show, I'm told.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, it went viral recently.
Recently, yeah.
Everybody started like sending me stuff, and I was going, why is this being getting brought up? Do you know what I mean? But then,
Yeah.
as I said before, I found out that this was the one show that wasn't put out, like in the way of, say it was 1 to 8,
Yeah.
number 8. They never put it out on all the formats. They kept it. They sold it to all these departments and companies, Australia, whatever, because it had, I can only presume, the nice happy ending.
Yeah. That's good.
What it was about.
Yeah, that's
Because
good.
if I did actually get to watch one of the shows, because I was like, what is this all about? And all I saw was pure chaos. Everyone hating everyone. Even if they did good, they don't get thanked.
Yeah.
There was none of that.
Oh,
Me, I was
wow.
like, boy, you're coming out. I'm getting you a drink, mate. You done me a job. You know what I mean? And that was it. And I think they kept that as like, you're the only person who ever did that. Do you know what I mean? So, and it lasted that duration to this day. And for some reason, it went viral on TikTok or whatever.
Recently, yeah.
Everyone was just literally hitting me from everywhere. I was going, where's this coming from?
That's
and
mad.
I never even saw it.
Yeah.
I never even see it till that time. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's crazy, man.
What a story that is.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's a good
That's
one.
insane. Thank you. All right, Jules.
Oh, what's next for DJ Woody? What's the next big project you got coming up? Anything?
Oh, yeah, DJ Woody just makes it up as he goes along, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's no point planning in this game because you make a plan and then something else gets thrown in. And you know, New Year 2026. I think I would like to go back into the studio.
Okay.
I want to go back in the studio.
Nice.
I've set up with my boys who I used to work with back in the day. I've got some ideas. And then my other ideas are like, you know, what am I going to do? Like, stuff. I want to do everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I want to do all this. I want to create some like songs for commercial pop. I want to do some house. I want to do.
Right.
But what I want to try and bring back really is R&B.
Mm.
I want to bring that back because I find that it's gone.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
The hits ain't there. Like, don't get me wrong. There is R&B singers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like, you had so many R&B hits.
Yeah.
And you had so much hip hop hits, sorry. But now where are they? Like, if I try and find them, there's only a handful. There's not even a handful. Like, it's really hard. Like, it's like I want to try and bring it back. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think with the years,
Yeah.
I think I can go back to the. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know if it's going to work, but in my head, I'm thinking, go back to its roots again. Find samples. Yeah. Bring in the loops. Bring in the hooks. Bring in this and that, and try and get it back out there again. Do you know what I mean? But as I said, I want to get back in the studio again because I've been writing down a lot of ideas and samples and stuff like that because I've been listening more and I'll say, oh, hang on a minute, I could take that bit out. So I want to go back in. I want to see
Love
if I
it.
still got it.
Right.
Okay.
Because I
That's
might
good.
not have it still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No. Class is permanent.
That's good.
That's one of my main things I want
Yeah.
to try and do.
All right.
All right. And like, what advice would you give to up and coming artists in the industry?
Just do what you got to do and do what you got to believe. Yeah. There's, you know, it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Be prepared to be let down. Be
Yeah.
prepared to go to the lowest, but don't give up. You know, if you believe in whatever you're doing, you could be the DJ, could be the artist, you could be whatever. Yeah. If you keep doing it, right? If you keep doing the networking, if you keep doing the socials, if you keep going, yeah. You listen. Criticism is what makes you bigger. Yeah. Take every bit of criticism you can do in anything.
Right.
Because you're going to have haters out there. That's the whole point of the game. If you can't take the haters, then get out of the game. Don't be involved in it.
Right.
Because this comes. Yeah. You know, and like, take the criticism. I've always took to criticism. I've always listened to what other people think and do. Yes, you make your own mind up what you're going to do, but I'd rather take a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of this, and then put it all together in the mix and then try and do it the right way. You know, you're always going to learn off of mistakes. That's one of the biggest things I've always said and done all my life. No one gets this perfect. No one.
No.
You know, I remember back in the day with Kelvin Harris. Kelvin Harris, right, was working as hard as he could as an artist, right? He was trying all different types of stuff. He used to come in the shop, right, and he'd be like, yeah, this, that, and then he did that whole team up with Dizzy, and then sort of made a big platform. Well, look at him from now to where he is now.
Right.
Yeah, and I will guarantee you, if you had that conversation with Kelvin, he would say to me, mate, if I knew I only had to go do back then to make the money I'm making now, I would have done it.
Yeah.
But everybody has to find their place.
Yeah.
In anything you do. You know, trial and error is the most important thing in anything you ever do in your life. But you know what? You got to have a good team around you.
Yeah.
Team is the most important thing in anything you do as well. Doesn't matter what you're doing. So if you are an artist, get a team around you. You know, there's so much more to be educated in the way of what you're doing, and because you've got more platform in front of you. Back in the day, if you was a singer, right, you would, I don't know, do a demo, whatever, yeah? Then you'd push that out to the DJs, yeah? The DJs would then get it onto the radio, yeah? There was a shortage, right? Now you can do this all on your own, without a label.
Right.
If you make a big enough hit now, you could get the hits on, say, YouTube. You could get, and believe me, they'll come follow.
Yeah.
Because now with A&R now, it's all to do with, like, hang on a minute, how many hits he got? 9 million. Yeah, right, we're going to sign him.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything now, everything's about hits and all that. Not the creation, not like what we used to do, where we was putting out the white labels, and the labels would come over to us and say, what's hot? We go, well, we've done 50,000 of them. Yeah, we'll take that. You know what I mean? And then they'll go and do the deal with the artists, right? And you got to remember the amount of money they were getting for a single deal back then, compared to what it is now. So if you can own all your, and there's all these extra bonuses now, as I said, if you got social media, you got your bonuses on the hits there. If you got your YouTube, you got your bonuses on the hits there, right? And then if you can do your maths, so let's just say, for instance, you built up 1 million people, followers, you want 1% of that.
Yeah.
Right.
At the price.
Yeah.
Prince did the exact same thing. So when Prince was signed to Columbia and Sony, whatever, I think he realised, he was like, man, these people are taking more money off of me, whatever, they're taking, you know what I mean? But he's caught up in a contract.
Right.
So what he did was he come away from the label, set up, he had his website, he done his maths. He knew there was 70 million people following him in a way of, as a fan.
Exactly.
He went and did an album. He put it on his website, $9.99. He took the lot.
Yeah.
He took the lot. When he said he done 2 lots of albums or whatever it was, or maybe 3, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then he went back to them and said, "Do you want to sign me again? We're going to do a greatest hits now."
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
So he got his booster, he got
Right.
his thing. So now it's different because independent is so strong right now. Independency is so strong. You know, listen, when you're working, like as I said, I work for X Factor, I work for. Right now, I get it. You know, if you get that opportunity to sign to a label, if you get that opportunity, you're going to go, oh, yeah. But make sure you read that contract.
Yeah.
You are signing your life away.
Yeah.
Because they will own you. They will rinse you. And then when you're done no more, they'll spit on you.
Right.
Spit
Yeah.
you out.
That's what they did to Leona Lewis.
Yeah.
She literally owned her voice. Is it Leona Lewis? No, Alexander Burke, sorry.
Yes,
They done her dirty. Like, he owned her voice and everything. So she can't release
normally
a
as
single.
an artist or a group and everything, back in the day, you had like 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years is your lifespan.
Yeah.
So if you get through the 3 years, and you can carry on, lovely. I mean, look at the reunions now.
Yeah.
Lovely. You know what I mean? Now they've got together again. Come on, let's have a go. Let's go and do these tours.
Oh.
Making good money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Good money because they can sell these arenas out now because everyone wants a bit of taste of the old school again. Back to to what it was like back then. And now he says one thing to me. That means that the stuff what's being done now ain't good enough.
No, we see it.
Because
Yeah.
I see it as hang on a minute. If they can walk back in 20 years
Later, yeah.
Right.
and sell an arena out,
Yeah.
and you've been doing it last 6 years and you can't do that,
Sometimes you have to look at what was the people listening to then, and what were they into.
Yeah, I
that I
agree.
can then correct myself.
Yeah.
So learning curves, as I said, on
Yeah.
anything you do. Listen, do anything you want. Yeah, have a go in it, believe in it.
Yeah.
But you got to have a team.
Yeah.
And especially now, the way I look at it is that, God, mate, I reckon I'll be pretty deadly now if I'd had the stuff that you had now than what we was doing back in the day.
Right.
Because I'll be straight away, I'll be like, right, team, media, social media to the max.
Yeah.
Being creative on not just advertising a song, doing a story to build up to a song.
Yeah.
Being
Right.
all kinds of different things.
Totally.
And then all of a sudden now, get everybody in the hype of what you're selling.
Yeah.
You got to remember, we had none of that.
Yep.
I used to stand by in a record store and create the hype on my own.
Yeah.
Many a song that I used to put on the record, and I'd be like, "Yeah, that's running." They go, "Yeah, that's running," but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I still sold loads of them.
Yeah. That's it.
I bump into so many people, and loads of people, if they watch this, they'll laugh at it.
Yeah.
They go, "Hey, Woods, I'll tell you what, I was going through my record collection. You did sell me some rubbish." You know what I mean? I was like, well,
Professional.
that was my job, bro.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? My job was to hype a record.
Yeah.
Yeah, rubbish or not, because I would never, like, if people, it's like, what's her name? Man, she was a grafter. Estelle.
Yeah.
Estelle, right?
Yeah.
Estelle used to come to shop all the time, right? She'll have her flyers, she'll have her single. You know what I mean? She'd come and tidy the flyer box. So you go, "How can I put this out?" "Yeah, put it in there." And then when she was giving us a record, I push it hard. You know what I mean? And everything. And when I haven't seen Estelle for a while. Yeah, when I was in LA, I just missed her. But man, I love the fact she's a prime example, of doing the work on her own, did the networking, did whatever, and to be where she is now.
Yeah.
Serious. She come from here to there.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, as I said, you're gonna go through all the madness to get there. Yeah, but I'm telling you now, she would.
Love that.
And you know what I loved about it? She wasn't the one everyone was focusing on. She just come around the back door and straight up. Yeah, you know, and I look there and I think, you know, she can do all the publishing. She can do everything now. Yeah, because when you get there, that's it, done. And as I said, it ain't always about being the artist as well. Yeah, you can be more cleverer. You can be. You can make the songs. You can do the writing of the songs.
Right.
Because there's bare artists out there. You know, the likes of people like Neo and all that before they were artists.
Yeah.
They were working with people I know who they was songwriting. Yeah, I got bare demos of Neo when he was doing the songs, and then it will go in the hands of Rihanna and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it will be their hit, J-Lo.
Yeah.
You know, and then they got their time to come through. Bruno Mars, another example.
John Legend.
But Bruno Mars was a massive song before he became.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a star. I mean,
Yeah.
Bruno Mars. I worked with Bruno. He's a star.
Yeah.
He's a proper star. But how they didn't see that when he was writing the songs, I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as I said, to this day and age now, I think if you bang heads and be really like constructive and be out there, and just keep working on it. Just keep working it. Listen, everyone has to start somewhere.
Right.
How many people started with one follower?
Yeah.
Now, and all of a sudden they got all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you got to look into what is it? Why is everyone following this person? You only got to do that one little thing, and then it's like, everyone and now the doors even open up. No, I mean you got all that AI world. And all that. It's just getting more and more and more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's like, and I'm sitting there baffled, going, well, you ain't even got to pay anyone now. You just go on
That's
this
it.
thing. Do you know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
That's true.
But I don't know how far it goes with that sense. But I think now with artists, I think just go for it. And I think it's the best time because back in the day, if you was independent, it wasn't working, mate. Now.
You reach anyone.
You can reach anyone now. You can do
Yeah.
loads of stuff. You don't need a label.
Yeah.
You don't need 'em.
Okay.
If you're that good, you can do it all on your own.
Yeah.
Do you know? But as I said, and again, all the platforms, Spotify, the way everything's being sold now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? iTunes, don't get me wrong, they can cut you out. I'm talking the ones at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can cut you out. But you still bypass them if you've
Yeah.
got loads of followers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, always do your percentages, always do your maths, and you'll be all right. You know. And
Yeah.
again, do your little tours, do your little pubs, do the work. You got to do the work. That's the problem.
Right.
You know, you might have a vision of something, and then I say it with anything you do. I get a vision on something, and you might get this far, and then you've done too much of that with your money, and then you go, I'm in it now. I've got to carry on going. And then you start using your business mind more because you're trying to work around how to get through to that bit there. And as I said, I've always been that man who does 10 projects to get one. Do you get what I mean? Some people just do the one, whatever. I just think, like, depends how you work. If you're a good multitasker and you can do everything, like, I'm the person who likes to keep busy all the time. I don't even know half of the things I'm doing, like most of the time, you know, because it's not just about the gigs, it's not about it's helping everyone else out. People always like, oh, was that, I don't know, for an example, like, I had this cigar, they've let me down this Saturday, can you get me one? Oh, it gets 2 minutes. What is it you need? Right, there you go, there's one there. So there's all these extra things to get put into my life. I'm not that person to turn around and go, nah, I ain't helping now. Let me have a go. And I don't know, it's just always the way I've always worked. I just like keeping myself busy all the time.
Amazing.
That's
amazing.
good. Well,
wow.
Thank you, Woody.
That went No, thank you so much.
Thank
Woody.
you, man.
What a journey, man. And you know what? There's so much more to come. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Cheers, bro.
Yeah, lovely, bless.
Thanks for coming on.
Right.
Cheers.